This thing called top-down constraints, which are basically, let's say you've gone to a walk in a park and there's a flower. Your top-down constraint would go flower, the word flower, F-L-O-W-E-R, flower. So instead of stopping and pausing and smelling the aroma of this entity right now, right here, and just, taking that moment to be there from a bottom-up way. Instead, you're walking your dog, you're thinking your thoughts, and all you see is a flower, and it's nothing. It's literally nothing. So, in the same way in romance, I think what can happen is top-down brain processes that, we could talk about how that happens in the brain. We know how it happens, but the bottom line is you have these ways that incoming data, which is called bottom-up, get constrained by top-down influences. So you say, this is my wife. This is just a flower. This is just a wife. And these top-down constraints in a busy life are kind of automatic. It's kind of what the cortex does. The cortex is built to be a pattern detector and an anticipation machine. That's how we can drive on a freeway, anticipating the patterns of driving that another car is doing. But the real challenge for us as adults is to not let this human legacy of an incredible cortex that has all this top-down learning that says, that's just a flower, that's just a dog, that's just a pebble, that's just a sunset. How do we actually awaken ourselves to embrace the miracle of being alive? So, the pathway toward freeing ourselves in romance and in any other part of life is to allow yourself to learn how to dissolve the top-down constraints. So in the mindful brain, I actually talk about the neural mechanisms of doing that. And here I'll just summarize, that there is a way through mindfulness practice to become aware of each breath, for example. In-breath, out-breath, in-breath, out-breath. And when you do this kind of practice, of course, after a while, here comes another breath. Oh, big deal. And then you notice how that feels to be doing a top-down imprisonment of this breath awareness. So let's say you do it 5 minutes a day, right? 10 minutes a day. You learn at some point, each breath, each half breath is a miracle. And then suddenly you feel the difference between top-down and bottom-up. And when you do that, you can start applying that also to romance.